Hi, thanks for joining. Today we're at the Squamish Lil'wat Cultural Centre in Whistler, British Columbia. Let's go and explore. Squamish and Lil'wat nations have coexisted as neighbors and share not only an overlapping territory, but also a rich tradition of respecting the world around us. In the early 2000s, the two nations signed a historic agreement which formalized their relationship and continued cooperation in matters of culture and economics, as well as co-management of shared territory. On the site of the shared territories, the Squamish and Lil'wat developed a world-class cultural centre which embodies the spirit of their partnership. Their vision is to grow, preserve, and share their traditional culture and inspire an understanding and respect among all people. The design of this spectacular building has been influenced by longhouses of the Squamish people and traditional earthen pit house of the Lil'wat people. The building is on the northern side of the property, and the surrounding forest has been mostly untouched. Cultural ambassadors from the centre lead guided walks through the Salish stroll and teach guests about local flora and fauna. We've been welcomed to the cultural centre by this traditional song. Inside the centre, there are several exhibits. The permanent exhibit celebrates the core of the culture, including ceremony, language, and stories. This collection includes baskets, blankets, canoes, drums, tools, and traditional clothing. Squamish and Lil'wat both honor the legacy of their ancestors by infusing objects with the history of their family. Many First Nation societies didn't have a written language until the 1970s. Storytellers played an important role as they were the historians for their community. Some stories were based on real events and people, but others were myths and legends that were used to teach moral values to their children. Each community taught and trained their storytellers in a unique way, although they all used repetition to learn and remember key details. Unfortunately, the flu and smallpox epidemics impacted the First Nations communities, and many of the stories were lost. Then in the late 1800s and early 1900s, children were removed from their homes and separated from their parents and sent to residential school. Because of this, even more stories were lost or altered. Today, the Squamish and Lil'wat communities continue this practice to carry forward the teachings of their ancestors. A second exhibit is called Honoring the Gifts of Our Forest, and it highlights the relationship between animals, people, and the land. The Squamish and Lil'wat nations are dedicated to maintaining a balanced lifestyle with equality for all flora, fauna, animals, and people. By observing the animals, they learn how to survive in their territory. The Gifts of Our Forest exhibit features carved masks and animal furs, as well as weaving material and baskets. One example is this grizzly bear mask and fur. It was created by a member of the Lil'wat Nation under direction of Johnny Jones, a member of the grizzly bear clan. The fur is from an adolescent grizzly bear who was shot by a conservation officer in Whistler. Today there are only 83 known grizzly bears remaining between Vancouver, British Columbia and Lil'wat. A final exhibit showcases the work of Archie Noisecat. in various mediums including print, wood carving, metalwork, glasswork, and handcrafted jewelry. Archie Noisecat is a Salish artist who grew up in British Columbia's remote mountain interior and went on to train at the Emily Carr College of Art and Design. He says his work is inspired by the stories that comprise his life, the people, tricksters, tragedies, and triumphs of the Indigenous experience. Another notable piece at the center is this 6-foot-high polystyrene cube, which is an artistic collaboration between Maori artist George Nuku and Haida artist Corey Douglas. The faces on the cube symbolize a supreme creator, and the cube itself represents the universe. The center also has a cafeteria where you can try Indigenous-inspired foods made from locally sourced ingredients. We tried the cheddar cheese bannock as well as the smoked salmon chowder, and both were delicious. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, it's time to exit through the gift shop.